Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi. Oh man, I hope everything runs smoothly. I feel some fear. I don't want everything to break. Please don't break. Please no more blue screen of death. Like, come on. All I did was load OBS good up that one time and then it decided, poof. Time to break myself. Tee-hee-hee. But now it seems fine. I'm gonna hope it stays fine. If it doesn't, then oh gosh darn it. But no, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna believe. So without further ado, time to go to the next chapter. Chapter 14, episode 14. No fear. I want to see Wiš'adel. I'm hoping I can see her tonight. And if I can't, then oof. Just big oof. But nah, it'll be fine. I'm gonna believe. I built her enough. Kind of, sort of. Not the most, not the least. Okay. So over here? Yeah, over here. So 14-1. Ooh, look at how red the root is. Fallen from memory. Prepare to seek the ending. But I just started. Why am I gonna end already? Oi. I only used her automatic skill. Not every meeting has a beautiful ending, Amiya. A lot of stories end suddenly. A lot of stories keep us tossing and turning in our beds. And some stories end with a long, long sigh. In a wilderness without end, people meet and go their separate ways. But at the crucial moment when we cross paths, no one knows if we should really be saying such solemn goodbyes. What a way to start. Come in. Oh, it's baby Amiya. She's so precious. Teresa, you're back. Amiya? What's the matter? Look what time it is. You should be in bed. If you don't want Kelsey getting angry with you. I know, but I can't sleep. Want me to sleep with you? It's okay. If you still have work to do, You've been waiting for me all day, haven't you? Did something happen? Nope. Everyone's been very nice to me. And I'm keeping up with my homework, too. I finished all the assignments Dr. Kelsey gave me. What kind of homework do you think she gave Amiya? Kinda reminds me I still have one more assignment to do. Just one. Just kidding, I have two. I think it's only two. I gotta double check. But I know you've been really busy and I shouldn't bother you, but I don't know why. I really wanted to see you today. Is that right? Come, Amiya. I'm here. Teresa kneels down and hugs Amiya. Cute. I'm here for you now. Alright. I saw you standing here, waiting by yourself while everybody else was gone for so long. I still remember the look on your face. I don't get it. Are you worried about something? Isn't everyone saying we're about to win? Yes, there's always good news. Our fighters captured another town. We advanced our position once more. Casdell, our home, is closer than ever. But I imagine she gave Amiya lots and lots of writing assignments. Speaking of writing assignments, I'm gonna have a writing heavy class next semester. I'm kind of scared. I know one's gonna be writing heavy. Actually, two might be writing heavy. I'm kind of worried. Because those hurt me because they require a lot of research and I hate that. Like, honestly, it's a pain in the butt. Amiya, Babel still has a very long journey ahead of us. Our goal is so far away. I don't actually even know if we're still sailing toward our original destination. Teresa lets out a brief sigh and looks into the distance. Amiya follows Teresa's gaze but finds nothing. Speaking of Babel, I think it's hilarious. The show my mom's watching, I think she's watching Vincenzo on Netflix. A Korean drama. I got so entertained by certain names of companies. I think it said Babel Pharmaceuticals. I'm like, what? Babel's Pharmaceuticals? And what? Jason's trading company. Jason, my boy. And Babel. Oh my goodness. Like, those two just stood out to me. I'm like, oh no. Oh yes. Oh no. Teresa lets out a brief sigh and looks into the distance. Amiya follows Teresa's gaze but finds nothing. Ooh, hello, hello. How's it going? Pretty good. I do regret not grabbing water earlier, but it's okay. I can drink water later. Babel does not exist to win victories. It never has. Victories and scars go hand in hand, and those scars are far more difficult than we ever anticipated to heal. Or rather, can they even be healed? Teresa's voice is very soft, almost like a dream melted away in water. As the cloud of mist rises, the brief, momentary smile that she had before now seems distant and hazy. The young cottage girl thinks that, for a moment or two, the woman holding her hand all this time almost seemed to have disappeared into the mist herself. And so Amiya makes the effort to stand on her tiptoes and stretches her hand out. The young girl's soft fingertips touch the forehead between the eyes of the king of Sarkaz. She tries to smooth those knitted brows. They can. They will. Teresa, I still remember what you told me. Perhaps one day, we'll be able to let everyone in this vast land fall into peaceful slumber. Am I going to... or doing chapter 14? Yes. I am starting the pain and suffering. I mean, yay! Wiš'adel! Woohoo! Ha ha ha! It's totally gonna be happy! Yeah! It cries. Right. That includes you and me. Go, Amiya. We have lots of time to talk about the future, but if you stay up all night, you won't be getting any taller. What are you going to do if you're still a teeny tiny bean the next time Rhodes Island is proudly sailing across the vast lands? I like that threat, the threat of not growing taller. If I point my ears up, I'll look taller, won't I? You really don't want to go back to your room, don't you? I'm not being naughty, I'm just... Alright, let's not tell Kelsey then. You can stay a little longer. It's been a while since I told you a story, hasn't it? It's okay, I still remember all the stories you told me. A long time ago, there was a great big desert, and a tiny little doll made of sackcloth. The little puppet swore he would cross the desert to find the legendary Plains of Hope. But you've never told me how the story ends. Oh, that one, huh? There are a lot of scary things out there in that desert. If I were to tell you, you'd never sleep again. Ooh, hello, hello. I'm not scared of them. Besides, with you telling the story, I'm sure it'll have a nice ending. Alright. The desert. It was so vast and wide, like there was no end to it. Our little puppet had been through many great adventures, and at last, he made it. His goal was right in front of him, the Plains of Hope. What were the plains like? The kind of place that anyone would like to call home. The kind of place with all the carrot pies I could eat? With everybody on the landship there too? I wonder what the carrot pies would taste like. Would it taste like carrot cake? Carrot cake's pretty good. Maybe. But things are never that easy in these stories. He still had to overcome the last obstacle that stood in his way. The desert was very cold, and the wind there never stopped. In the light of the twin moons, there seemed to be some black cloaked shadows whispering to themselves, but the moment he looked for them, they disappeared. What were the black cloaked shadows? They were the echoes of the oldest despair and sadness. If they catch you, you'll never escape them. The shadows whispered amongst themselves and laid trap after trap to stop the puppet. The black-cloaked shadows didn't want to let the puppet make it any further. They did everything they could to try to get him to turn around. Because if the puppet made it through the desert, hope would start to spread their way, and they would disappear. Oof. But the puppet didn't know that. His goal never once changed. The puppet made it past their traps and followed their plans. All the tricks they had up their sleeves had failed. They were furious, and they decided they weren't going to hide anymore. They were going to duke it out with the puppet and fight him to the death. Ooh, a carrot shake. I want to try that now. Just grab a carrot, maybe some water maybe? I don't know. Ice? And just blend it. Hehe. When he saw the shadows rushing toward him, the puppet took out a long spear made of a needle and some threads. Then he... Teresa, why did they become the echoes of despair and sadness? Well, about that. Did they catch neuropathy, and the pain kept them up at night? Then maybe the puppet could cure them, just like what you and Dr. Kelsey want to do. Cure them? If the puppet cured them and turned them into... happy and peaceful shadows, then everybody could go to the plains of hope together, right? Were they born baddies who like to scare people? No, dear, of course not. The puppet found out that they all had wounds on their bodies. It was the wounds that turned them into what they were, or who they were. Couldn't he fix them up with his needle and thread? Just like what you always do. It's like, Amiya, you're so adorable. Oh, so precious. Maybe. Perhaps it's worth a try. Yawns. Sleepy? No, I'm not. Did he do it? The puppet tried over and over. The stitches were thick and ugly. The black cloak shadows were livid. What happened next? Maybe. Peace and happiness don't really come so easily. But in the end, they decided to let the puppet go. The black cloak shadows watched the puppet walk into the distance. They decided they'd let the puppet give it a shot, but... a big river stood before him. He didn't even know how wide it was. All he knew was that he couldn't see the other side of the river. He knew that the plains of hope were on the other side, but there weren't any boats nearby. There wasn't even a decently sized frond. What do I do now? The puppet thought to himself, and he decided to see if he could swim across. But he's a cloth puppet. Right, he was made of cloth. If he got wet, he would only get heavier and heavier, until he sank to the bottom of the river. But if he stopped here, his journey would have been for nothing. He leapt into the water and found that the river was cold and salty, like tears. Apparently, a lot of people across the lands wanted to go to these plains, but not one of them succeeded. It was their tears that formed this river. The puppet finally understood just how many people shed tears over this. The puppet swam and swam. He felt his body slowly soaking up the tears. Did the other side of the river really exist? Perhaps the shadows are right. It was called the Plains of Hope because no one could truly make it there. People speak different languages, and their hearts are not connected. Home. But a river meant there must also be a source to return to. Sleep soundly, Amiya. Good night. Delicious river of tears. Yummy. Amiya has no idea how she got back to her room. That night, she slept very soundly. Did the puppet make it across the shore? What happened in the end? A ravine suddenly appeared. Just like that, the two sides have lost contact. Yo! You too, for lots of horror stories as a kid. I actually love those. I love those scary stories. I actively seeked out ghost stories. I was a creepy child, I'm not gonna lie. I won't even sugarcoat it. I was a horror movie kid. Basically, that was like the one time I sleepwalked and I sleep crawled like a spider. Like a true horror movie child. Amiya? Doctor, when did you get back? Is everyone waiting for me? I'm sorry, I'll just need a minute. Good job with the battle. You did well during the battle. Good job, Amiya. Yeah. It's okay, Doctor. I'm all ready. Let's head over there together. Walking. We're about ready for departure. Every one of us has to leave Brentwood. Good thing these bones are large enough for us to all fit. The military commission must already have caught wind that we've taken control of the town and the lifebone. It goes without saying that the skeleton is of tremendous importance. Their counteroffensive might already be on the way. Perhaps the Sarkats are watching our every move as we speak. Ever since the rapid tactical unit, the Witchling, took to the skies, it's always felt like somebody's been watching us in the mist. It's unnerving. The battle will only get more dangerous from here on out. We all know that. The Exemplars will not give up their counteroffensive on Londinium. We have no other choice. Victoria's people have endured this long enough already. I want to see the size of kings. Good thing we seize a skeleton. Under ideal conditions, it will serve as a temporary stronghold. The wounded civilians will also get to settle down a little. Besides, if what Holder said is true, it can teleport us anywhere, although it might make the users nauseous. This is indeed some appreciated help. Some much appreciated help, but something is bothering me. Why wouldn't the military commission defend such an important transport to the death? Perhaps they gave up because of the pressure of the battlefield, or perhaps Duke Ariel, the Sanguinarch, underestimated his enemies. But it's more likely that their plan on Londinium has already reached a stage where they can't afford to worry about anything happening outside. The Sanguinarch still completed his final ritual. That may be exactly why they turned their gaze not to the lifebone, but somewhere else. Hodor has finished negotiating with the consciousness left in the skeleton. It will, yes, listen to our proposal. With its help, we will be able to return to the battlefield at any moment. Most importantly, it gave us an opportunity to get close to the airship and the shard. If we make use of this trump card well, just maybe, we'll be able to mount an airborne assault on Central Londinium. Take out their headquarters directly. Good, I like that. The area around the shard is heavily guarded, and my guess is that the military commission's airship won't let us hover over their heads without a fight. All we can do is find an opening for our strike team to enter, and as soon as they've made it in, we'll have the lifebone depart. That means the strike team can't retreat, but at the same time, we still have to get to the bottom of what's been bothering Amiya. What exactly are the Sarkats planning? And how to foil their little tricks. We won't be able to take the shard with this little time by ourselves, but we still have friends inside the massive city. We need to get in touch with them. According to our intelligence, there likely aren't many combatants stationed inside the shard. Based on my experience fighting their commander, if Teresa's, Amiya, what would you say our chances are? No, we should avoid a direct confrontation with him at all costs. No one is strong enough to single-handedly defeat Teresa's. Besides, our greatest threat right now is not a single powerful Sarkast hero. Rather, it is their ambition to see their plans come to fruition. We will only be able to end this war quickly by stopping it from happening. A few squads on their own can't end a war. We still need the Victorian military. It's true that the Duke of Windermere perishing on the front lines is beyond what any of us might have. Oh, forgive me, Lady Delphine. Standing beside you now is an intelligence officer in the service of Duke Windermere, not her daughter. Pay me no mind. Yeah, sorry, Delphine. Your mama was a true badass. The Duke of Windermere's untimely passing has disrupted the fragile balance on the outskirts of Londinium. They are on the brink of war. Heh, until a few weeks ago, I was still under the impression that if the Dukes were to put their minds to it and attack Londinium together, a Sarkast defeat would have been all but assured. This would be a decisive battle, one far worse than what any of the bigwigs have been anticipating. I'd like to say they wished this upon themselves, but it's the frontline soldiers and innocent citizens who are suffering right now. So, when the time comes, who's going to win? Us, the Exemplars, or the Dukes? Sorry, I guess I shouldn't be asking that before an operation. It's fine. I know what it is you're worried about. But there's no need to worry. A great many people stood up, raised their heads, and woke from their dreams because of this calamity, whether willingly or forced. You are far from the only ones. We need to focus on the problem at hand. How to break through the battlefield for for our Londinium counteroffensive, as well as how to stop the Shard strikes. It won't be easy. This next step in the Sarkas plan most likely has to do with Originium. It won't be easy. It's never easy. It's very likely that they will apply ancient Sarkas research on Londinium. We don't have time. We need to decide on a route for advance. Unfortunately, we don't have time. Taking the battlefield head-on is their one and only choice. We received a transmission indicating that we have several Rhodes Island support teams on the way. There are many things we will only be able to accomplish here as Rhodes Island. I will command their operation. I will see your strategy executed flawlessly. I will command their operation. I will do a thing. And put this crisis behind us. It seems none of us has any objections. That being the case. Everyone turns to Mia. Suddenly, you feel a hint of relief, gratification, excitement, and pride. After all, you were standing right beside her. This war has to come to an end. Has to come to a head, and Teresa's intends to use some more decisive and forceful means to tear Victoria to shreds. This has nothing to do with whether the Sarkas truly have a right to revenge. It has nothing to do with whether the nobles may bear this heavy burden for Victoria. If we solve all our problems by destroying our enemies, then this land, plagued by war from the beginning, has no hope. The Confessari and Teresa's are there, at the heart of Londinium, toppling this empire standing on shaky ground. I will go to them, and I will stop them. For that future, and for the future of all. I believe in you, Amiya. No doom ending. Isn't a big gap like this a waste? I got some real juicy explosives from Closure. Enough to pack every corner of this place full. Ha. And they're still cooking up some stupid ideas like mounting an attack on Londinium. This is the military commission we're talking about. Who knows what tricks Teresa's has got up his sleeves? So... bomb the place, straight up. Heh. Why do you think the military commission went through all that trouble to hide this skeleton, instead of treating it as a second airship? This thing is fragile. It's only thanks to the witchcraft device that we can communicate with the Fahrenmut's lingering breath of life. An attack, no matter how weak, could spell the end of it. You think I'm talking about dropping bombs out of it? I'm saying let's make it the bomb. A bomb that can fly just about anywhere it wants. That can fly right into Teresa's face at any moment. The perfect bomb. What, you're still thinking about letting it take us back to Casdell? If we don't deal with Teresa's, we aren't going anywhere. Let's take the simplest path to solving our problems here. Got something to share with the class? Nothing at all, but I didn't expect to see you so tense. Should I teach you a few deep breathing techniques? Huh? Whatever, W. Get in the right frame of mind for this operation. Otherwise, no amount of explosives is going to fix what's going on in your head. That just means we're gonna need more, even more bombs. If you say so. Phew. Ines? What? Remember when you ran into the Lich the other day? Never mind, forget it. You're wondering whether Teresa out there is real or not again, aren't you? Humph, enough of that already. I'm not the one you need to convince. I wasn't the one who called her a fake first either. Ugh. Did I ever tell you your arts are disgusting? I didn't need to read your shadow. You've been pretty anxious for a while now. What will you do if you run into her again? I told you, it's a fake. I'm gonna kill it and be done with this. And what if it's not? Then I'll rescue her and get to the bottom of everything. That's Teresa. I know. I think you don't. You haven't figured out how to treat Teresa, how to handle an enemy leader. That's a taboo, and you know it far better than I do. Sarcasm expletive. Ines, you know what pisses me off the most? I remember a lot of stuff. I remember the crystal on the head of that old fart who taught me how to make explosives. I remember the prices on your heads. I remember how Her Highness wrestled with the door, and how Kelsey once got her hair caught in the same door. What's with that door? The door has lots of history. I remember all these things that don't fucking matter. Wait. How come she went from sarcasm expletive to the full-on F word? W is built different like that. But I don't remember. I can't for the life of me remember when the last time I saw her was, or even what we talked about. Yeah, I barely ever had a normal conversation with her. There were so many of us on the ship. I was small potatoes, and she was Babbel's chairman. It was probably a joke, some silly complaint or nagging. But it definitely wasn't a goodbye. This time, I'll make up for that and say it. Then I won't forget. Anyways, I gotta get my mercs checking over their equipment. This is gonna be one hell of a job. Whatever you say. But if your legs give out on you and you need somebody to give you a good kick in the ass, you know who to call. That's a nice way of saying, I got your back, girl, no worries. Yeah. This nightmare has gone on for long enough. We should be looking straight ahead. Hey, Teresa. Hi, Teresa. All preparations are complete. The airship is ready to take flight. Yes. It will all be over soon. Come, walk with me one last time, Teresa. Very well. The military commission of Casdale has secretly constructed airship docks just like this one in the support layers of several sectors throughout Londinium. This is the largest among them, and it is where the airship was born. The ship is seen as a terrifying weapon of war, a herald of destruction, and a flying fortress, but very few are aware of the original intent behind the airship's construction. It is to uncover a buried secret, and beyond that, it is to break free of an eternal shackle. The brother and sister are walking in the great ship dock, down a long passageway, where every Sarka as they pass stops and greets the two of them. When was the last time they had a nice walk like this together? Thinking about it, compared to the amount of time they had spent together. The days that have passed is nothing, but they were also long enough. What's in your mind, Teresa? I suddenly remembered that when Kazda was rebuilt into a nomadic city, we stood next to each other on the city walls, shoulder to shoulder, just like this. It was supposed to be a happy day, but then it rained. Some said it was a bad omen, but I still remember how the soul's furnace flames looked all the brighter in the rain. And there's more. I'm suddenly remembering so much. It's been too long. It has been too long indeed. From Castle to Casdale, our goal lies right before us. There is but one last step in our plan. Those who walk after us will find a great city standing tall upon this land, and we Sarkas will do as we wish, seizing control of our own fate. I need you. Yes, I know. The warriors who once firmly believed in your path, the girl who was called the King of Sarkaz, they've all come before you now. Of course they came. I've always believed they would. Have you decided how you will confront them? I've never once been confused, but I'd hoped this day would take longer to arrive. Now that it's come to this, I actually feel I underestimated those I should have had faith in. Teresa, I'm delighted. I'm delighted that even after we made this decision, they're still willing to stand up against us. They're decisive and strong, and they're growing at an unimaginable pace. Perhaps they'll make their way to you in the end. They may be much stronger now than the woman I was, the one who couldn't accomplish anything. I'm looking forward to it. Then, it's time for me to leave too. Teresa steps onto the airship's gangway, while Teresa remains where he stands, quietly watching her. Teresa, this time, we should bid each other a proper farewell. Teresa reaches her hand out and smooths out the creases on Teresa's cloak. Ancient Sarkas language. Goodbye. Goodbye. The silence lasts until the steel door closes and its thick shadow shrouds the two of them. They say nothing more. And now a corridor. The pulsing of the myriad souls is ceaseless. Teresa lightly closes her eyes to bear with its surge. The endless murmurs are like the tide. It exhausts, it drags those within it ever downward, and it suffocates. Perhaps within it once existed brief moments of happiness or the occasional delight, but there is simply too much pain, so much that the pain permeates every word and sentence. Oh, myriad souls! Even though I have almost completely exhausted myself, I still cannot see the other side. Shattered hearts abound on these lands. And so, even if I only have grief at my disposal, even if my body was wrought of tears, be my oar and be my arc. Let tears carry tears, and let suffering lift up suffering. It's time that we set sail. And away we go! I'm not sure if we're gonna have a similar situation with Teresa's to Yelena. If anything, it's gonna be so awkward because Teresa's is gonna be like, "Sup, doctor? Do you like what I've done?" Or maybe. Or actually, no, he's not the talkative type. He wouldn't even say anything. He'd just be like, "Me, I fight you." But it would be fun if he's like, "So, what do you think of the stuff that I've done that you taught me?" It's like, "What? I taught you?" Like, oh no, the truth. Logos is examining the bone whistle in his hands. He knows every pattern carved into it, and every wear and tear on its surface. He remembers receiving this from his mother when he was still a small child. Its sound was not nearly as sonorous and vivid as it is now.
So this is a Banshee's bone whistle. It's my first time seeing the real thing. Banshees are a rare sight among mercenaries to begin with, much less one with a bone whistle. That said, I've heard plenty of stories about bone whistle. It's a symbol of terror. Its sound foretells death's pursuit. The Banshees portend death and willingly serve as the embodiment of death and danger. But I rarely ever saw you use a whistle. Not at Babel all those years ago, or at Rhodes Island now. The vampire accused you of rejecting the power of your bloodline. It already sounded. It need not sound again.
And speaking of logos, I got a copy of him. I was trying to be edgy and get another Wiš'adel. She said no to me, but I at least got another logos at the end. Haha. More Wiš'adel would have been wonderful.
Metaphors about death itself are a dime a dozen. But what comes after death? True, the Banshees portend death, but nothing more. If death wasn't the end of all beings, and there was more than nothingness after the toll of the death knell, then this foretelling would have been meaningless. That's why we set down the bone whistles for bone pens. New meaning is born from the pen's tips, while the past is only recorded by the same tips. This is why we stand together now, Holderer. Is that right?
Yes, toward the other side of death, rebirth.
It matters not what Teresa's intends to accomplish. This war will not, and cannot be allowed to develop into the raging fire that destroys the Sarkaz, as history has seen countless times before. Having burned for so long, this hatred cannot be easily extinguished, but we can stop it from engulfing all souls upon these lands. That includes each and every race there is.
Dr. Misaki, hold on tight. The final battle is about to begin. Whee! The Fairy-Mud skeleton wiggles its body and once again dives straight into history. The fragments of time are like bubbles in a muddled stream. After they break up, the remains are still vague and indistinct. Amila feels the rippling space-time rushing past her. You look at her and see her eyelashes twitching. What exactly does she see? Perhaps nothing more than reflections passing by, or fleeting hallucinations. The distance between memories and history is always much longer than we expect. Countless sceneries, both ancient and modern, sweep by under the Fairy-Mud's frame. Those who find themselves within the are astonished by this advancement or regression of times, the disasters that unfold before them, and the happiness in their hands. But when looking upon them from high above, perhaps these sights have never actually changed. Then the illusion grows much stranger and more twisted. A seed is rapaciously absorbing nutrients. It writhes, whimpers, trying to tear away all fabricated representation. This creation, far beyond human comprehension, waits silently. The slightest movement is enough to rend the continent and allow the crystals to proliferate. Edgy.
No, this isn't right. This isn't the Fahrenwood's power. The sky. The entire sky is burning red.
Even edgier.
The life form is out of control. It's been pulled off its original course. Are we under attack?
Prepare to meet the enemy. Ready, damage control. Prepare to meet the enemy. Who's fighting us midair?
Guard the entrances to all cabins. Watch for attacking aircraft.
We're preparing anti-boarding measures. All non-combatants retreat to your shelters.
Mercs, fan out. Don't let any drooling morons onto the ship.
Any damage reports? I'm checking, but what's going on? This makes no sense. The sensors I set up are all reading normal. The skeleton's not damaged at all.
I just got word from the observation post. They've spotted no enemies. We're losing altitude. I can't control it.
What the snark-ass expletive is happening? Isn't the skeleton your best friend, Holderer? Get it to chill out.
Holderer, can you adjust the course at all? We mustn't land in the center of the battlefield. I'm trying.
Buckle up, everybody. I don't want anyone getting flung out through the gaps in the bones. I sent out all my drones to try to pull the Fahrenwood's bones back and reduce the impact of the crash. Don't get your hopes up, though. Our descent isn't slowing. Going by the current speed, we'll hit the ground very soon. Holderer, your best friend. Look at what your bestie's doing to us, Holderer.
The meaning of language shall grant us wings. I command these words to lift this weight.
Thank you, Logos. It's working.
Keep chanting your incantations, Banshee. Holderer, keep steering us north. There's a valley there. We should fit right in. I'm on it, but my link with the Fahrenwood is fading. I can't control it much longer. Monster.
Excited howling.
Protect the doctor. Prepare for impact.
Joyful hauling. This isn't exactly comfy. Its claws are digging into me.
Calm down, doctor. You'll be fine. Amiya, how are things going over?
All the wounded and civilians have been relocated. Face and Rock are working on getting the transport secured.
Got it. Inez, my mercs have anything to say? They're all here with me, working on getting some witchcraft going. We'll need a little more time. We should be able to withstand half of the impact's force. Tell Holderer these bones won't shatter here. The valley's in sight. Our angle's not quite there yet. We need to turn left by another 20 degrees. Less chance for adjustments. 20 degrees, I'm certain of it. All hands, brace for impact. The rest comes down to luck.
I don't trust my luck.
10 seconds to impact. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ah. We made it. Oh, look at the ground. Look at the map. Well, we got this. This is fine. Ha 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 ha. I'm edgy like that. I'm just gonna go in as is. "30 minutes earlier, underground structure, Highbury Borough, Londinium."
You're back. How are things up top? Same as ever, maybe worse. I used to be scared of those devil mercenaries who ask you for a smoke. The worst you'll get is a slap on the face if they feel like it. But now, it's all monsters you can't even describe that'll turn you into a puddle of blood without so much as blinking. You know what? I've been sleeping better because I know there's nothing but death if I run into one of them. Are the Sarkas still grabbing workers off the streets? Didn't see anything. We didn't dare go too far. Doesn't seem like the Sarkas are interested in running the city anymore. There's no one maintaining public order. They couldn't fully occupy Londinium, could they? What use is it to them? Are they really planning to drive the Victorian capital all the way back to Kasdo? Who knows, honestly. I haven't a clue what they're trying to do. Why go through so much trouble if they just want to kill everyone?
Ooh, it's Granny. Hi, Granny.
How sad. Those who betrayed their friends are for a better future are soon betrayed by the better future. No one expected things to turn out like this. You know we didn't mean to. Let me guess, you mean us no harm but handed us to the defense forces out of fear. How kind and gentle. You all deserve a medal. Catherine, save it. I don't have time to dig up old grudges. Not that it would help anything anyway. At least you didn't gift wrap my head and face and give them to the Sarkas. The question is, what do we do now? We can hide here. We know the underground passages better than the Sarkas. That's your plan, Tommy. Live underground for the rest of your life, like a talpy beast. Why don't you just go hide in a coffin then? I don't blame you for what you did. Given a choice, no one wants to go to war. But war is here now, right here in our homes. There's nowhere to run. I ran into a few fellows who said that they could get us some decent weapons, I reckon. Is that thunder? Rain would be really nice right now. Why is it shaking? Is Londinium on the move? But the mobility level is... Something's not right. Let's head up and see what's happening. Be careful.
What's outside the window?
What is it, Catherine? You're blocking the window.
The massive silhouette of the shard is just visible from here. The most familiar sight and the pride of all who call Londinium home. But the annoying yet comforting blankets of clouds above are nowhere to be seen.
Wait. What's that on top of the shard? Take all of our supplies and contact everyone we can. We need to move deeper underground now. Hurry!
Uh-oh. 15 minutes earlier, Silver Rock Bluffs, Londinium outskirts. Duke of Castier, so fancy looking.
We're approaching Silver Rock Bluffs. That means the attacks will start soon. When I first heard Wellington's plans a few days ago, do you know what my initial reaction was? You thought I was too ambitious, Your Grace? Ambitious? I think you mean crazy. Yes, crazy. He wants the entire Allied forces committed to the front lines. 13 dreadnoughts, 45 assault ships, 172 gunboats, 86 transports, 10 support ships, all of artillery, and 180,000 infantry, including the entire reserves. It wasn't an inquiry or request, it was a notice, almost an order. The Duke of Wellington has also abandoned his traditional Gaulish formation of multiple battle lines, instead having all fleets form a single files to penetrate the Notchzera line all at once. Gododin and our forces are to be responsible for fire support and clearing out casters in the Sarkas' rear, while Wellington's vanguard charges at the center of the Notchzera formation. The Silver Rock Bluffs, currently under Sarkas' control, is a key pass between the Red Mane Mountains and the Duskglow River, and a highly defensible position. The enemy can easily retreat towards Londinium, even if we win the battle. I would have staunchly opposed the plan if it was not Wellington who proposed it. But you and the rest of the high commanders eventually consented to it. We've seen similar tactics in the military academies. They were the same tactics used in the legendary battle of the War of the Four Nations, in which Duke Wellington fought. The Victorian-Lithuanian alliance split the Gaulish lines up into three and quashed the resistance. That battle put Victorian on a new course for the next several decades. Glorious as it may be, the pass is no place to find refuge in. Do you also think that the Iron Duke has grown old? Wellington is a military genius. He commands battleships with the same ease and grace as a Lithuanian virtuoso. I've never seen anyone quite like him. He's not one of those fools blindly chasing the glory of the past. The Sarkas is not the end, but merely the beginning of the end of the real battle. As for here and now, It's not just Wellington who needs a decisive victory. The Sarkas have the shard, and they have successfully fought it before. They could attack us or anywhere in Victoria at any moment. However, our war scholars deem any losses from the Sarkas catastrophe attacks to be within acceptable limits. Those losses will not compromise our ability to achieve our strategic objective. The Sarkas have not refueled Londinium since it was deviated from the course. The city is immobile as of now. Once we take the pass at Silver Rock Bluffs, the Sarkas will no longer have a terrain advantage, and the Allied fleets will have a clear path to Londinium. Indeed, if everything goes well, we will be able to end this meaningless stalemate as quickly as possible. Yet the word stalemate isn't an apt description for the Sarkas and Victoria. Telegrams from the caster hold are increasingly impatient. One cannot fault our backers for it. War is far too expensive. A promise fulfilled too late is a promise unfulfilled. Are those the cannons of Gastro going off? The Duke of Wellington's attack has begun, but it's not time yet. Your Grace, what's that red light coming off in the distance? That light, it's coming from the top of the shard. Hail Wellington right now, we must.
Too late. Back to current time? Ouch! Doctor, are you okay?
The doctor will be fine. Monster absorbed the brunt of the impact.
Where are we? How are the others?
The good news is that we fell into a canyon. Our precise location is uncertain, but we're at least a distance from the worst of the fighting. Closure, Horn, and Siege have gone out to scout our surroundings. You should be briefed on the specifics soon. We're still assessing our personnel and equipment losses. Preliminary reports indicate that pre-impact measures were effective and losses are acceptable. Medical and engineering units are already at work.
I'm afraid there's been some troubling development. The sky. It's red. It's beautiful, but I don't think that's a good sign.
Watch your step and keep up with us, Doctor.
I'm walking, oh.
Oh. Okay.
Suffering extends its reach to every corner the eye can see. From the top of the shard, originium spreads like a plague, devouring, assimilating. It kind of looks like lava flow. Buildings, ships, armies, originium devours all and quickly expands. An unprecedented calamity indeed, one that puts even the most terrifying catastrophes to shame. And yet, an army marches through the roiling originium crystals, its tattered banner visible even from here. Out of everyone's interaction with Teresa next, the one I'm most excited for is Kelsey, seeing her ex-bestie. Suffering is but a marching order for the Sarkas. The ever-hungry procession of the Sarkas advances to the horns of the wailing, sinking their teeth and claws into the enemy they find. Bloodstained boulders litter the wasteland as far as the eye can see, looking decidedly out of place. The whipping winds have ceased, giving way to a rising fog. The withered grass remains unstirred, yet countless tattered bandages already dangle across. Sarka's warriors stand in line, soundless and motionless, waiting for the embodiment of death and decay, the master of war, their king. A withered figure emerges from the death-filled fog. On the hills, he stands. He stands there menacingly. Through the swamps he passes, menacingly. Out of the fog he glides through the wind and sand, rising from the withered grass. And upon the art's ritual circle he descends. Tattered stripes of cloth fall to the blood-filled columns, like a bony hand caressing a tombstone. Only the most seasoned warriors recognize that the Notch-Zera's tattered ribbons, like the banners of Kasdale's walls, belong to generations of ancient Sarkas tribes. Their form ragged, their symbols recognizable, but their scent of war unmistakable.
Ducarael, Regent's Crimson, Prince of Blood. We were never close, but the contribution that you and your blood made to the war is undeniable. I bear witness to your glory and shame, Slayer of the Fairnmont in the Mist, Jailer of Time, Usurper of the Royal Court, Executioner of Kings. You deny the path that we now walk, and you deny the meaning of the Black Crown. But you gave your first and final drop of blood to the Sarkaz. Your power shall not fade away, nor shall your anger, your hatred, your ambition.
He spreads his arms wide. A black fog of decay rises, swallowing every boulder. Red fades into the sand and dirt, vanishing into the mist. The warriors do not speak, but the earth begins to rumble as ancient witchcraft spreads across the battlefield. And now darkness. War. We nourished you with our best, their blood and bones at your behest. We're the living and the dead. Together, we march as one. The black fog dissipates. A drop of blood forms at the tip of Nesalem's staff. It is the purest blood, the only blood that death and decay cannot touch. This is the blood of Tikaz. It evoked the call of Nanam, but was lost in the battle of art circles. The compassaries searched 70 of them without finding it. But, Nesalem, your highness, you found it for the regent. The drop of red liquid drifts towards Salus and enters her wrist.
Keep it safe, Conversarius.
Of course, I vow to protect it with all the strength of my bloodline, my life. The vampiric art circle are still alive, are still active. What of the sanguinarch of vampires, the purest bloodline, the cruelest of the sovereigns, the pride of the Sarkaz? Did he really die so easily, at the hands of the young banshee and the rabbit?
He has not joined the myriad souls, but away he has drifted.
What a shame to waste so much blood. Her reaction, it's just like, dang, what a shame that he wasted his blood. He could have at least given that to us before passing away, that loser. Wasteful. So very wasteful. Funny.
Meddler of bloodlines, do not desecrate war and death with your flippant insolence.
Apologies, your highness. I was merely lamenting the loss of the sanguinarch.
Then keep his legacy safe.
Aw, that's actually that's nice of Nesalem. He just like, don't you dare talk bad about him. I didn't really like him either, but that is rude. He just passed away, girl. Ouch. Pure ouch.
His blood will continue the fight with us.
Of that I have no doubt, sovereign of the withered court. The blood of Tikaz, will fulfill its duty. If a mere tremble of Nanam is enough to burn the heaven red and bring upheaval to the earth, then its found descent shall free our fate from the manipulation of Originium, as the myriad souls has so longed for.
Fate? War will crush all obstacles beneath its heel, even fate.
I wonder how it's gonna be fighting him. The Deadwood throne rises, attended by innumerable war altars, casting a massive shadow on the battlefield. Silent columns of warriors step into the strange catastrophe, continuing their advance.
We will advance before the storm, both the living and the dead. This war belongs to all Sarkaz. A new beginning.
Hello, young officer. You are cool looking. Another quote from one of the sovereigns, General.
No, I was simply reminded of the furnace at the center of Castel.
Oh, the big one. I witnessed many feedings before I came to Lindinium. It is an honor for a fallen warrior to be fed into it, becoming the fire that propels our progress. But it never seems to be stated. Small wonder, the flames of Revenant's rage only burn stronger.
Nadine, Would you call the nomadic city by the name of Kasdel your home?
What is the meaning behind that question, sir, when the final battle has already begun? I was raised on the battlefields outside Kasdel. The black rocks and the bones of my fellow Nachzerer are the only things buried beneath the city's walls and wheels. Where is home if not Kasdel?
Yes. What other answer could there be? The future is lined with uncertainties, but this much we know. This war ends where a new beginning emerges. Have you made contact with Ursula?
No. They were very thorough in mopping up Brentwood. Just as he predicted, our casters have picked up the trail of Ferrymuth Skeleton's movements. They considered attacking Londinium, attacking the shard directly.
I gave them a chance. Far too many chances.
There's no question that Major Ursula has been negligent in her duty. She had better give a good explanation, if she lives to explain.
Have you located the skeleton?
We have a rough idea of its location, but it will take time to find it on this vast battlefield. Should I take the squad there personally?
No, I will. We will take the Fernwood spine, or destroy it. It must not fall into the wrong hands again.
You're going yourself?
Those mercenaries have interfered too much. They must be eliminated. Before that, though, we'll finish the ritual.
Our Nachzerer ritual? I didn't think you cared much for tradition.
Cyclops, Lich, Wendigo, Banshee. More and more have left. You've never seen this royal courts in Kasdel, have you, young Nachzerer?
I suppose not. Other than the Nachzerer, it's mostly been vampires. Not the best neighbors, but you start to miss their smell when you spend enough time in Londinium. Just based on how, Nadine looks, I wonder how the Nachzerer King looks under all those bandages. Do you think he's pretty like her? If he is, then dang.
The blood of the fallen has returned to the earth.
Like heck, it looks very, very edgy. Super duper edgy. Look at all them edges from the crystals. Speaking of crystals, gosh darn it, inside of Nike, I'm in the land of crystals also. But the crystals there are blue, while over here they're red. I cannot escape crystals.
There will be no new prince of the Crimson Court. How many sovereigns do the Sarkas have left?
Bzz. Logistics to command. We've encountered a catastrophe near Sofrior Chasm. At least, I think it's a catastrophe. We're being drowned in a tide of originium. The ship has lost power. Weapon systems severely damaged. All systems inoperative. Defense systems offline. No response from arts unit. I repeat, all systems inoperative. Enemy spotted. Taking heavy fire. Mobile arts device. Data automatic record. Trilby Asher, you're here too. Of course you are.
None of these messages made it out. The entire communication system is scrap. To think that so many have died to protect this little metal box. I salute you. Phew. That bow hurt. I shouldn't have taken my... That bow hurt. I shouldn't have taken my hat off. Our foes unpredictable, aren't they? There's enough intel about the shard to fill an entire building. But you and I must take the blame for our present circumstances.
The man in a hat looks down at his counterpart. The man on the ground lies motionless, buried to his chest in crystal-filled dirt. But the little box that he clutches in his left hand remains spotless. The Trilby Asher puts the rim of his fallen comrade's hat down, covering the face that no one knew to begin with. Oof. Ooh, hello, hello, good evening. Today was pretty good, pretty chill. It took a little more effort to retrieve the communicator, but war has made him a rather proficient undertaker.
Intel retrieved. Communications are still being jammed by severe interference. A little progress is better than nothing, I suppose.
The Duke of Fife and the 6th Infantry Battalion were ambushed. The landing attempt on the crumbly plate has failed. Ooh, thank you, for the gotcha luck! Unable to reach the Duke of Gododin's scout fleet, Chetley has been lost. Large-scale unanticipated geological changes across the Silver Rock Bluffs front. Active originium concentration above threshold.
No good news. Are those troops? The ID code is... My! What a miracle! I'm a lucky man indeed.
Sure, you're lucky. Look at the Trilby Asher being trolled first thing. Even if it's not the same Trilby Asher, I think Trilby Ashers are just meant to be trolled at this point. Which is hilarious. That is your destiny, to be trolled. Ooh, look at that swirly bit. No fear. Okay, slight fear. That's fine, let me just put over here. Ooh, that's good. I'll put over here. And then... Oh, I think the swirly's growing. I don't appreciate that at all. But not, it's fine. It's fine for now. This might hurt a little bit. It's a hurricane. Oh, wonderful. Let's just bring another healer out just in case. I don't trust it. And let's see, how do I want to do this? Over here. You know, over here is fine. Boop. Yay! Oh, can that hurricane just leave already? Can you just move? I'm so happy I have multiple healers out. If I only had one healer on my team, this could sting. But right now, it's not too bad, I would say. Just a slight pain. A little bit of pain and suffering. Can she reach from here? Nope. Darn. Ooh, I need to get more people with range so I can hit that. Actually, no, it's fine. Thank you, Susie. Thank you for reaching. I appreciate you. Okay. A little bit more. I can imagine it being super potent. I'm not looking forward to that. Oh, it's gonna be pain and suffering for reals. Nice. Okay, so far so good. 3 hours later.
No sign of the Sarkaz troops. The lifeboat is a big target, and we would have left an even bigger trail behind us as we fell. I'm afraid they'll catch up to us sooner than later. Closure, can you confirm our position?
I can only really get an approximate orientation with these maps I've got in hand. Damn it, still no response. Ever since the skeleton crashed, all of our comms went down with it. My drones can't fly too far either. I've never seen this much interference before. Wait, I think the drone just found something. Over there!
Ooh, what did it find?
What's this? A voice recorder? Makes sense, I guess. On a battlefield like this is the best way to relay intel, short of just shouting.
That's a Duke of Caster's crest.
Let me have a look. Bzz. I'm short on time, so I'll make it brief. The Stone of the Sword has arrived at Silver Rock Bluffs. But the Sarkaz and their tricks are worse than we thought here at the front line. My advice is head to the battle from the southwest. Bring the sword. Bzz. I've honored my vow, so the rest is up to your highness. Bzz.
The sword, eh? No changes, no change, no improvement.
Can you tell your new pal that if it doesn't get back on its ass soon, I'm gonna break whatever bones it's got left, one by one?
It's long dead. Not like it can feel pain. Why not pick something more meaningful to vent about? The skeleton's voice was already ebbing. After the crash, it had stopped responding altogether. The nerve bundles are withering. We've tried everything we can to think of. Lubricant, supplements, even some crazy witchcraft I've never heard of before. My verdict is... right now, Right now, it's nothing more than a colossal and breakable skeleton. It can't be dead, can it? I mean, it's already a dead Fahrenheit. You're telling me it can die again? Hey, Enos, pass me that mine over there. The one wedged between the bones. Glad you asked. Nearly stepped on it. And also, what kind of psychotic idea do you have this time? Oh, just following your suggestion. I'm gonna go find a proper target to blow up. Isn't that old friend of yours supposed to be the skeleton whisperer or something? I'm sure she's still got an unbroken rib or two. So she should be able to talk. Maybe. Well, she will if she knows what's good for her. Ursula. She does know plenty of the Fahrenwood secrets, and it's clear she hasn't told us everything. But I have the feeling that she won't be able to help with this particular problem. Right. The sources of our troubles is what's hidden in those dark red clouds above our heads. That's exactly it.
Ah, the all-knowing Kelsey. Let me guess. You've got even more bad news for us?
Regular catastrophes have no effect in Fahrenwood, even if it happens to be one that has been dead for several centuries. The tunnels that it travels in can even drill through time, so how is it that a storm can seal them off? What's happening here is beyond the scope of a mere catastrophe.
As we were falling, I had a vague feeling that the enormous ancient sentience remaining in these bones had gone somewhere I could not touch. It died its true death? It's free now?
Our connection with it has been severed. It might only be temporary, but if we take too long, we might lose control over it for good. Your deduction is correct. Upon his inspection, Locus confirmed that the sarcasm witchcraft cast upon the skeleton is being disrupted by a massive source of energy. It seems the vampire's ritual is completed. The Confessarius. Chiu Sartustag is aiding Teresa's, and has achieved what the sarcasm could not for millennia.
Ancient sarcasm language.
Omnanam, an ancient word, an ancient wound that refuses to heal. The kunabula of suffering. Mind skipping to the part where we can actually understand? I don't have all day. It was the first curse, just as it was the first originium. Isn't it just a legend, you know, the made-up kind in the storybooks that Hodor loves to read? Legends are shadow of reality, despite all the untruths and half-lies painted over them, to say nothing of the fact that this is a Sarkas legend, a T-Cas legend. Sounds to me like Teresa's is cooking up some real serious batshit to hang over Victoria. I fear that this too is the reason he chose Londinium as his base of operations. The shard's ability to influence catastrophes and Originium is already sufficient for it to become Omnanam's beacon. Across all of Terra, as it is now, this is the one place it can descend. Well, out with it then. How do we wreck the thing? At Terra's current level of technology, there is nothing we can do. The only good news is that it is not fully descended.
Have you figured something out, Logos?
The drop of blood that the vampire possesses, the one that he calls the blood of T-Cas, is still fulfilling its duty. The reason why Omnanam is able to leap across millennia and descend once more is because of his prayer. The blood's master has fallen, but the connecting veins hold steady. If we are to prevent the reemergence of Omnanam on this land, we must break the vampire's curse, quelling the hatred that resides in this drop of blood.
I think I can give it a try.
I was blighted in battle with the vampire, and its influence on me has not waned. By virtue of this, I am able to sense where the blood of T-Cas is. It is at the rear of the Notchzera army. It will likely be protected in the Confessarius altar and heavily guarded. The amount of time required to break through the entire Notchzera defensive line would be too much.
We could cross the Red Main Mountains by passing most of the war zone.
Taking that route carries a similar risk to storming the battlefield. Our observational reports indicate that the Red Main Mountains have been completely transformed by Omnanam's influence. They are now blanketed in active Originium. I need not remind you of its extreme danger. But it might be possible. Shining has gone ahead to seek out Chiu Sartustag. And if things go well for her, she will be able to come to our aid.
I support the doctor's decision. It's the plan that saves us most time. If we keep delaying until Dr. Kelsey speaks of his completes his descent and is used by Teresa's as a weapon, then we will have lost any chance we might have to turn the tide. Even if there are risks, we must forge ahead. I'll need your help, W.
You need some hands to guard this pile of bones, right, Bunny?
Right. The skeleton is crucial to the next operation. Besides, Hodora needs it too.
There is no doubt that the military commission has been watching us ever since we crashed. The way I see it, it makes no sense to hand back something we fought so hard to steal in the first place. Give me a time frame. Time now is 1800. 3 days. The surrounding terrain has been completely transformed. We'll need to pass through a wasteland filled with unknown dangers. Given also the fact that the battles will be inevitable on our journey, I estimate at least 3 days to handle the blood of the Chicas. An immobile skeleton makes for an extremely conspicuous objective. Guarding this site will not necessarily be easier than the raid you carried out on it.
I propose that Ascalon stay behind and help protect the lifebone.
But my job is to stay by your side and keep you safe, Doctor. During the Sanguinarch's attack, it was my error that led to your injury. A dangerous mistake I do not intend on repeating.
The lifebone is vital, and Manfred is likely to order an assault. You understand him well.
I agree. The Sarkas will be reliant on their commander personally overseeing the battle and making decisions. If you're able to stir Manfred's advance, then that might relieve pressure on the mercenaries. I will respect your decision.
What about the gang of useless Victorians? Are they going with you? I'm kind of excited to face Nasalem. I bet he's gonna be terrifying. But it's exciting. Also, he wanted to see Amiya earlier, so might as well. We'll say hello.
We will head to the front lines at the Silver Rock Bluffs.
Wait, are you saying you want to lead just a couple thousand men, some of whom are civilians who barely had a weapon, straight into battle with the Notchslayer army?
You have your legend, Sarkaz, and we have ours. With the size of kings, the blade that can cleave catastrophe in twain. Since the Sarkaz have controlled the storm, it's time that the sword plays its part.
Come on, Size of Kings!
You've been contacted by the Duke of Castor. An invitation to be precise. It is as we surmised, since the Sarkaz started their strange doings in the Victorians, or rather, the Ducal Alliance have been heavily hit. Castor, no, any Grand Duke ought to have figured out exactly the kind of circumstances Victoria has found herself in. We've all seen those altars spewing that red light, or any light for that matter. As it stands, Londinium and all the battlefields surrounding it have become a giant art circle. This is how the Sarkas fight, not like the Athenian, not like Ursus, not like any other nation's tactics that we are familiar with. The Trilby Ashes will have told Castor that all the intelligence that they have gathered so far is useless when it comes to Sarkas tactics. The Size of Kings, no longer will this piece of steel I hold in my hand be merely a leverage to get Castor back to the negotiation table. It will turn the tide of war, bringing true change to the battlefield. None of us knows when the next catastrophe will strike. I don't know what form of Castor's stone of the sword will take, but no matter if it's a square room on wheels or an odd contraption on an officer's back, I'll find it. If we can quiet these storms, then I dare say that the battle will become somewhat more evenly matched. From Sulfurior Chasm to the front lines at the Silver Rock Bluffs, it will take you 2 days, even if you follow the road that the Dukes have cleared from the westbound forest of Gibsonham. The Duke of Castor would be more than happy to snatch away the Size of Kings if afforded the opportunity. It will allow her to lead the Dukes in this difficult war and move her one step closer to the throne, and she will not be the only one attempting to do so. I'm aware. The Duke of Windermere has died in combat, and her troops have retreated from the battle. If any other Duke withdraws their forces, the scales of war will be tipped even more against us. The war will drag on, Londinium's restoration will be delayed, and even more blood will be shed. For Sarkas and Victorian alike, this is the battle that will determine our ultimate fate. And as for us, We are the exemplars. Wherever a miracle is needed the most is where we will be. Besides, if the sword really can calm storms, as the legends say, I dare say it would help speed along your journey to Londinium after all this. Closure?
How do you know I was done with my preparations? To keep things short, your ever-reliable chief engineer Closure and her team have come up with 7 different plans to get around the comms interference. This equipment of mine has also started analyzing the super catastrophe's trends and impacts. Originium-triggered reactions always leave a trail no matter how intense they are. Things like dust concentration, activity index, and then there's spread conditions. Well, I'm sorry to say that all these metrics are pretty high and as expected, so we can't tell what's going to happen in the most dangerous regions, but we can deduce which parts of the battlefield are safer, relatively. That is, of course, if we can go deeper into the heart of this battle and obtain more data. Misery's agreed to be our bodyguard, but since you guys are already heading over to where there's most action going on, I figured we might as well tag along. So, could we trouble the exemplars to look after us?
Gladly, we're duty-bound.
Making sure that things don't get any worse is Rhodes Island's mission, right, Kelsey?
Thank you, Closure. Doctor.
Let's both go with Mia. Could I go with Station Closure? I prefer to stay here with the skeleton. Oh, if I could make a choice. Decisions. I kind of want to stay with W, but at the same time, I want to go with my bestie Mia. Hey, Mia. Our path might be the most dangerous one of all. But I'll keep you safe, Doctor. Just like always. Yay.
I know you fear for the safety of each and every operator, which makes you hesitant to choose. But the truth is that I need you to come with me.
So we can go behind enemy lines together? So we can deal with the altar problem?
There is no changing what we will face during our final confrontation. Originium has shaped the history of the Sarkaz, just as it will shape the futures of us all. Perhaps you still have misgivings about why Rhodes Island must intervene in this war. I did not have the opportunity to explain in the past, and nor could I could give you a precise answer. I have never doubted that the dark clouds above the shard concealed some dreadful unknown. Yet when it has revealed itself, as it has now, I still find myself confronted by mixed emotions. I'm not one to explore the subject of fate, especially not yours and mine. But now fate has reared its head and is coming our way.
Kelsey, you don't sound like your usual self, Kelsey.
Originium's effects are far beyond any of our comprehension.
Our? Even yours?
Of course. Dr. Misaki, I hope... No, I believe. I believe that you are still the one who can change everything.
I've never had any doubts either. Doctor, I think should get going now. Alright, let's go.
Not gonna ask me for 21 gun salute.
Take care, W.
Look, little bunny. I'm not like the cheapo rare there. I'm real hard to kill. The exemplars are ready.
Glad to hear it, Siege. Remember, everyone, time is of the essence. Every minute, every second of this battlefield, there will be people who are suffering because of Originium. Our mission is clearer than ever. Stop the spreading of Originium. Stop... nom. Right. And then we plunge into the darkest depths of the fog.
To Londinium. We'll bomb the tower and grab Terra's biggest bastard out of the rubble.
We'll stop the disaster before us and any more yet to come. I believe in us. Tutorial mission? Ooh. Before I start that, I'm gonna just send out a quick message being like, can someone bring me juice, please? Can you bring me juice, please? In a cup with a handle? Okay. Okay, I sent that message out because I need liquid. No fear. It's just a tutorial. How bad could it be?
No fear, no fear, no fear.
What's this tutorial gonna be for? I already faced the spooky scary. I don't feel so good. There's a lot of activated originium here.
That's because you're in an area contaminated by originium pollution. These are common on battlefields in the outskirts of Londinium. Operators deployed in them will take continuous damage and have reduced SP recovery. Try to avoid them when deploying.
Poor Jessica. What's that storm in the distance? It looks like it's heading towards us.
That's an active originium storm conjured by the enemy arts. It has the same effect as originium pollution, but even stronger.
Active originium storm? Why is it headed our way?
It seems to be drawn to the withered altar.
Okay. The storm expanded?
Correct. It grows stronger when it absorbs the active originium in its path.
No fear. We're in real danger here, instructor. How do we deal with this?
Calm down, Jessica. We can deploy a new withered altar in another direction to draw it away from us. Once placed, we'll have to deploy an operator to activate it too.
Leave this to me, Instructor Doberman. High-risk jobs are my specialty.
Do the thing, please.
Ooh, I think juice is being brought to me. Ooh, juice! Let me grab the handle. I hope I don't lose this tutorial mission. Ha ha ha. Ooh, I think it's apple juice. Yummy. Man, I drank half of it already. Oh, hello. How's it going? So far, it's alright. Then again, I'm playing story mode, so it's not super difficult. And ooh, hello. Did I get Wiš'adel and logos? Yes, I did! I wish I got more copies, but it's okay. I got one copy of each of them. Actually, no. Yeah, I got one of them and then one of their copies. But more would have been good. It's alright. Logos can always spook me, and maybe someday I'll get more W. Or more Wiš'adel, I mean. And W too. I want more W and Wiš'adel. I want both. I'm greedy. One of the EX challenge stages has a hurricane that covers the entire stage. Oh, that is so mean. 13 hours into the operation.
The further we go, the more dire the situation becomes. Freshly rent canyons, diverted rivers, pathways that withstood the weight of great nomadic cities, now torn, distorted, warped beyond recognition. The maps of the past are now no more than scrap paper. Every trail must be charted anew. There is no doubt that the blood of Tikaz lies this way, though. Our bond yet hums. The closer we get to the heart of the battlefield, the higher the rate that originium integrates with all information. The rocks, the soil, the waters, the peoples. Originium's influence has its clutch around virtually everything on Terra. Yet perhaps, we have long forgotten the fundamental principles of how it works.
What do you mean by information just now, Kelsey?
Perhaps you shall find out rather soon, Doctor. Or maybe, no, never mind. Objectively speaking, this originium-contaminated terrain does give a tactical advantage to Teresa's military operations. In contrast, the Victorian front is all but shattered. But this level of originium activity still pales in comparison to the catastrophe strike earlier. Teresa's will never use originium so recklessly just to gain a slight tactical advantage. This much I know of him. He knows the consequences.
Sounds like we're in for a difficult journey. There's a vehicle heading this way.
Halt!
The truck shudders to a stop as several familiar faces hop off. Oh! It's them!
Master Banshee and the King of Sorkaz. I told you we shouldn't have taken this road. We can't run away now. Well, it's not like they're bad guys.
Weren't you supposed to stay at the life phone?
Well, I'll be honest here. Master Banji, your highness, we were scared, terrified, having to stay inside that skeleton, not knowing who or what might come running over to the hills to attack us. So we ran. I know that desertion is a crime, but we were never going to be of any use, were we? So I beseech you, my lord, your highness, but please don't execute us. We'll happily take the whip instead, however many lashings you wish.
I'm not going to execute you, and I never demanded that you fight for me. If you want to go, then you may go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, your highness. You're wise and merciful and... Can we three go along with you? Shh, say no more. Her highness has already done us an incredible kindness by sparing our lives, and you would still demand more of her. Don't be a fool, shopkeep. How much of a chance do you think the three of us and that broken truck's got? We'd probably get blown up by a bomb or worse. Your highness, this is just my humble request, but please get us off this battlefield. I'll give you everything I have. As long as these two live, I'll swear my undying fealty to you.
Aww. As long as these two live, dang, driver, you're a real one. You're willing to sacrifice yourself for your besties. Oh, that is so cute. No, that's not the issue here. If you were to follow us, I'm sorry to say that it'll be just as dangerous. What do you think we should do, Doctor? Oh, okay, her skill 3 is kind of like Chen, Alter's skill 3. Ooh, tempting. I can't imagine they'll survive the battlefield on their own. They might expose their whereabouts to the military commission. Their ride's not bad, we should commandeer it. I want their vehicle. Doctor, do you really want to do that? I see. You're just trying to liven the mood. Well, I was hoping they'd drive us, if anything. Very well then, driver. We can travel together for a while. After we pass through the war zone, you should leave Victoria once and for all.
Thank you. My deepest gratitude. And please use your transport. It should carry us far enough. Oh, King of Sarkas, you're the most magnanimous soul, and I truly do not know how I can repay this kindness of yours. The coin. Huh? The coin I gave you. Ah, I completely forgot about that. Good thing I didn't drop it. Here, for you, my lord. I was wrong to beg of you. It was my honor to serve, Banshee Lord. How could I have expected payment for such a privilege?
I think they're scared of you. You really wanted your coin back. Is that your favorite coin?
I hope you don't think of me as a miser. I need to ensure that they are not imposters. You need not fear. I hold no malice against you.
Logos moves his finger and the coin in his palm vanishes, only to reappear in the shopkeep's hand in a heartbeat. The shopkeep stares, first at the hand capable of quaking the earth and shaking mountains with a single pen stroke, then at the coin in his own hand, and finally back at the deadpan banshee, unsure of how to react. Oh, that is a good thing to have for a skill then. Camouflage, nice.
Was that a magic trick? Haha, how delightful. You are a man of many talents, sire. I better go help driver start the car.
A most interesting performance. Tough crowd, huh? A most interesting performance.
I saw Scout and Outcast demonstrate several times, but I could never quite get the movements right. It is my lack of skill that has made for a lackluster effect.
I've never seen that side of you. Are you a bit of a jokester?
Doctor, there are many times when I also regret the fact that many of our shared memories have disappeared into the ether.
We never did talk much about the past much. I suppose the right time never came up. We never did talk about the past much.
If we ever find ourselves time to reminisce after this ordeal, perhaps you'll be pleasantly surprised by the anecdotes of your past. But for now, we must go.
On our journey, there's no sound here. The stillness is strange. I can't hear the sound of our breathing or the vehicle's engine. I can't even hear my own heartbeat. Is it some kind of origini mark? Could someone have blocked all sounds in the vicinity to conceal themselves?
No, Mia, listen carefully. It is not that sound is forsaking this place. Instead, there is a great tremendous roar, so great that it drowns out its lessers. It is a deafening cry of death itself.
Look over there! That leaf! A leaf hangs on the lowest branch, its surface tinted with vibrant yet bizarre colors, like the work of a haphazard artist, or sunlight reflecting off a puddle of grease. Like the vestiges of some sort of arts. Like some kind of fungal infection. Ew. It's art.
It is rotting. Decay unhinges its maw, gnawing it all in its sight, leaving behind only iridescent bite marks.
Within a few seconds, the sprightly yet strange coloration spreads across the entire plant, and even onto other bushes. The once succulent leaves become drips of foaming liquid, leaving behind only bare vein networks quivering in the wind. Ew! Just like a thin bee skeleton after its flesh has been picked clean, unceremoniously discarded, the wind rises as if wanting to tear at their skin. It is a sigh of an unsatiated beast. Logos, the marsh! Silver incantations flow forth, plunging into the depths of the marsh. Did you manage to stop it?
No.
Uh-oh. The muffled sound of the water sloshing ripples from the marsh, echoing about in the deathly silence, the sound of a foot pulling from the ooze, then stepping down again, steady. Unseen steps churn in the muddy water, slapping it to the shore. Prepare for battle! Stay where I can see you, Doctor! Whee! Black arcs shoot into the marsh, but the burst of sound quickly dies down, as though swallowed up. The steps begin again, the rhythm unchanging, the resolve unyielding. A tattered hem floats above the surface of the water, as ripples crash into ripples, becoming a chaotic jumble of lines and shapes.
Monster!
Cautious growl! A dazzling gleam of light spews forth from the monster's mouth, but the shining lance is lost amidst the dark swamp. The slow sloshing changes.
Ha!
A series of hurried footsteps erupt in the silence, and all lost sounds return once more, a brilliant cacophony, an ear-splitting din. Uh-oh. That is a cool-looking sword. I like that weapon. Look at it.
Death has come for you all. Stay back, you, whatever you are. Look out! Cage. A pseudoram. A burial shroud still wrapped around a corpse. His body is already rotten away. Conventional attacks will have no real effect.
It's a zombie?
This is a form of witchcraft innate to the Nachzerer, or possibly an ancient tradition. Nachzerers devour life to nourish their bodies, but all bodies have an end. Once at the cusp of that end, powerful Nachzerers will nourish weaker ones with their flesh, gaining unfathomable speed and strength in return, alongside witchcraft energy that no ordinary body could bear. In doing so, they become even more powerful creatures, while the nourishment allows the Nachzerer society to sustain and grow, just as fallen leaves nourish the land, and the land supports new lives, an eternal cycle.
The Nachzerer up to his torso. At the same time, incantations wend and weave their way around the group, holding the rot's incessant bite. Over there, quick! We'll head to the forest! Oh, we're gonna play hide and seek in the forest.
Don't step on the mud.
With the swamp rising, or perhaps the mist sinking, the dark ground becomes a gaping mouth trying to engulf all. The group struggles through the mire, each breath growing more labored. A singular thought seizes the collective mind. Living is a tedious and futile effort compared to the peaceful eternal slumber that awaits if they simply turn around and embrace death.
Monster, protect the doctor.
urgent growl. He's here. The only sound they can hear is the whistling of the corroded blade as it swings down. The Notchzerer, the one who walks alongside death, has arrived before them. Sudaram, I really like your sword. Can I hold it? Can I have one? Piercing cry. Did Monster also feel the pain?
A life withers before its arts. If we were caught in the Notchzerer's witchcraft, our life force would be sapped to become its nourishment.
He's fast. A life-stealing sword. Oh, I really want it. I really want that sword. Did he come from the mud or drop from a tree?
Either is possible. From life to death, from blossom to wither, they draw upon the entire life cycle, turning into seeds that produce new Notchzerers.
I can feel it. The unending flow of witchcraft energy flooding towards us. And not just from the enemy before us, from the marsh, amidst the trees. It's everywhere.
We've been wrapped in the Notchzerer's shroud. By his hands, death hangs above our very heads. Only by tearing apart this barrier of witchcraft can we defeat him. Whimpers, Minor, am I about to die? He's tired, shopkeep. Here, hold on to me so we don't get separated.
Driver, hold my hand. Whatever you do, don't fall. She's fading out of consciousness. I can't hold her up much longer.
Ordinary healing techniques won't help. Notchzerer witchcraft is devouring us all. Leave me. I'll only hold you back.
No, driver!
You can let go of us. I know that if it wasn't for us, you and Sir Banshee could fight more easily.
No. I promised that I would get you out of the battlefield. We're in this together.
Is that so good? The scent of blood. It pervades the air.
It's driver and the others' wounds.
No. This blood is witchcraft.
Huh? As in a vampire? This forest has Notchzerers and vampires? Well, this is a terrifying forest for reals. A thin fog of blood floats all around them. This is entirely different from the Prince of Blood's arts that they witnessed before. It is subtle, like delicate strands of silk, nearly smothered by an all-encompassing mist of decay around them. But it is these silken strands that slightly stir the stagnant air.
Amiya, feel the flow of the wind. I will expose the weave of this shroud and locate its weakest point.
Got it. The black arts gather before Mia's body, condensing into a spear. Logos raises his hand, pointing at the depths of the thick fog.
Pierce. Dull growl. Herald of death, you resist the spread of the rot, but to no avail. In the end, death will claim your corpse. I've never once doubted that. Disperse.
His giant blade falls, sticking into the soil like a gravestone. The Notchzerer's shroud flutters and billows. In an instant, his imposing figure disintegrates, leaving behind only several tattered strips of cloth gently falling to the ground. Can't I keep the sword?
Is he dead? I can finally breathe.
Clack, clack. It is the sound of bones scraping against bone. A withered hand stretches out of the mud.
Watch out! It fell apart? Looks like it to me. Phew, when did you become such a badass driver? Shouldn't we keep going, Your Highness?
Yes, it's best that we leave at once before the Notchzerer reawakens and catches up to us again. True, could I even lift them with my noodle arms? You're right. Man. Amiya, would you like a cool new sword? Logos? How about you, Kelsey? Monster? Heck, driver. You know you want it. I wasn't expecting a vampiric art circle here.
It is still working.
Those vampiric arts that suddenly appeared as we were fighting the Sudaram. Was it because of the circle?
I'm afraid it's not that simple. I'm sure you're well aware, Mia, that those arts were cast by a vampire.
Perhaps a descendant of a vampire? I assume that while the Sanguinarch has been taken off the battlefield, the gifts he bestowed will not so easily fade away. It doesn't matter. I'll do my best to put these corrupted lives to rest, as I've done before. Logos, could you please assist me?
Mia.
The sound becomes ever clearer, coming from behind the blood-stained boulders. It is the sound of limbs dragging across the ground, a sound that they've heard countless times in previous battles. Mia notices the expression on Logos' face. He looks not at the stone columns, but at Mia, a trace of emotion flitting across his eyes. It is sorrow. Mia recognizes it instantly. She has felt sorrow countless times since the war began, sometimes from an enemy, but mostly from her companions.
Uh-oh.
Driver.
No, not Driver! Your Highness.
When did it happen? Was it while we were fighting the Nachsarer?
Yes. When we left the skeleton, I brought along a rock that the military commission had ordered us to transport. I thought since it made us stronger before, it might come in handy in battle. It really did help, right? I never dared to imagine that I could fight alongside you and defeat that strange enemy. You used the blood crystal left behind by a vampire. Did you pierce your body with it? No. That wouldn't have induced such a drastic change. You swallowed some fragments. You willingly accepted Ducario's blood and art. I've always had the vampiric bloodline, even though it's pretty faint by now. But I could still sense the Sanguinarch's call, even if it felt nothing more like a whisper. I've seen those worms crawl out of the Sarkaz corpses before, so there's no need to pity me for not knowing the consequences. Instead of dying in the gutter like a real worm without so much as a yelp, I'd rather accept this power and die in the battlefield like a real Sarkaz.
Well, Driver wants to go out like a badass, protecting her friends at least.
This isn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. A few months ago, while driving aimlessly through the wilderness, I heard a broadcast about what was happening in Londinium, and somehow I just drove all the way here. Shopkeep says I read too many stories about knights. That's rubbish. Everyone knows that Kasdale doesn't need knights. I just wanted to know if there was a real path in life that I could follow, one with a proper end, if I could give some meaning to my life without just wasting it. And then I met you. The path of the King of Sarkaz is a path for me. We fought alongside each other. We fought alongside each other on this path. Just like you said, we're in this together. And now, the fighting stopped, at least for now. My buddies are still alive. Your Highness, you can deal with me as you see fit. Deal with you? What are you all talking about? Driver, why have you become like... Real scary, aren't I? Your Highness, please, I beg of you, help her. And Lord Banshee, sire, I humbly return this coin to you. It is the only thing of worth that I have. Witchcraft is a trigger to your condition, not the cause. There is nothing I, Mia, and even Dr. Kelsey could do to reverse the changes. Then what are you gonna do? Don't tell me you're gonna kill her like you killed those red worms. Stand aside, Shopkeep. This was my decision. Your Highness, I heard that, in the past, the greatest warriors of the Sarkaz, right before they died, could request that the king grant them a vision. I don't know if if I count or not.
Mia raises her hand. Black arts coalesce at her fingertips. A desperate smile emerges on Driver's face as she unconsciously looks at the top of the goddess's head, searching for the legendary black crown. My king. What will I see? I just hope it won't be me driving that piece of junk around Kasdale. Driver, can you tell me your name? Your real one.
Is this part of the ceremony too?
Well, if I knew your name, it'll be a lot easier.
Marilla, a common name.
Marilla. Sorry, I've never stayed in Kashmir's for long, so my pronunciation might be off.
No, it's good. It's been so long since anyone called me by my name so gently. Ever since my mother died.
Marilla, I refuse your request.
You won't grant me a vision? I suppose. I was never a warrior to begin with.
No, that's not it. I refuse to let you die here. By my hand, Marilla. You've not become the vampire's creation. Your looks have changed, but I don't sense you becoming any more evil or bloodthirsty. And even if you are showing a bit more of your ancient bloodline, you're still you. You do not deserve punishment, nor should I be the one to give you your honor.
But you're the king of sarcasm.
Please call me Amiya, Miss Marilla. I've had my share of worries because of your team, isn't comprised of Rhodes Island operators. I was thinking earlier about how we could get along with you three. But in truth, it wasn't a problem at all. If you wish to fight alongside us for a common goal, then I will welcome you with open arms. The young courteous keeps her arms outstretched, her blue eyes blinking. The sarcasm woman grasps her slender fingers. Despite not feeling much sorrow, 2 rounds of scarlet tears still flow down her cheeks. Yay! Wholesome! Were you watching Amiya?
She's changed a lot these past few years.
She's become more mature. She's always been a good leader.
The core of the vampire's ritual has changed. It is no longer just a tool to amplify the strength of the sarcas, nor a single collector of energy. It is a deepening the sarcas bloodlines bond with Originium, with Omnanam. The blood of T-Cas is playing a role in this somehow. The strength of the sarcas bloodlines acts as a direct catalyst to the Originium spread. In turn, the information within Originium empowers the bloodlines, changing their powers and other traits.
I'm happy for Amiya's decision. Cause Driver's a good girl. Driver only did that to protect her friends, and I respect that. The effect of these arts seem familiar. Didn't Salute merge a lot of bloodlines? Confessori are skilled at bringing about the power in bloodlines.
We must be ready. The threat that Omnanam represents may very well be far greater than anything we expected.
I know it's a scary threat, but it makes me hungry because it sounds like om nom nom. Now to the fight. Oh man, there's the thingy already. Actually, no fear. That's fine.
No fear at all.
Alright, I'm just preparing myself slowly. Slowly but surely. Let's just put that here, why not? Right here. Yes, far enough.
Go towards the thingy.
You know you want to go towards it. Yeah, just stay there. Stay there, you punk.
That's right.
Okay, that's not a good placement for Chen, or not really a good placement, but it's fine. It's aight.
Not really a good placement either, but it's fine.
This be totally fine. It's story mode, I don't have that much fear. I'm being complacent.
Which isn't very good.
But I'll do it nonetheless.
Okay, and bam.
Ooh, these guys with shields are annoying. Shielders are always annoying. Slowly getting them though. Even more, of course, there's gonna be more. More shield bros. At least I don't have to defend shield bros. Defending those other shield bros hurt me. I'd rather fight them than defend them, actually.
Okay, and now I defeat even more shield bros. Go get them. Good job.
I gotta raise her skill 3 then later. I've been having her train her skill 1 or her automatic 1 if that's number 1. I forget. I gotta raise her other one later
To make it extra OP.
and just a little bit more mission accomplished.
Nice.
23 hours into the operation. How far have we trekked?
The route ahead has been cleared. I'll continue scouting the Sarkis army's movements. Haven't found any trace of them yet. Thank you, Misery. Continue to set up those sentry posts. Morgan, found any surviving Victorian soldiers where you're at?
I'm afraid not. Nothing but originium crystals here. We haven't run into any Victorian troops, corpses, or wrecks since we entered the westbound forest.
Damn it, we can tell there's been a bloody huge battle. So where have all the people gone? The terrain here keeps changing. Maybe the ground ate them all up. We cannot underestimate the tenacity of the people. It is only because there are those who refuse to give up that the exemplars even exist. It's why we're here in the first place. Shearer, keep the medics ready to receive any army remnants and civilians. We've got extra supplies, so no need to worry on that front. The bad news is that with so many infected amongst our troops now, it's almost impossible to distinguish between infected and uninfected soldiers. I'd like your professional opinion on that matter. Would registering the infected help our men or not? Funny you should ask. Registering the infected. That might have been the first thing they taught me in the military academy. But where we stand now, I'd say there's no real sense to it. I see. Then let's stop registering them. Just try our best to provide everyone, infected or not, with Rhodes Island recommended protective measures. The rest is not up to us anymore, at least not for now. Let's all focus on surviving this war first. Then we can worry about the wars to come.
Oh, my drone's back. How awful. The entire propulsion system has been clouded up by crystal dust. Based on monitored data, the environmental originium concentration is still fluctuating wildly. Send me that data you just got, Rock. We've got a new iteration of our originium activated trend model, and I want to see if our calculations fit real-world data. Looks like there's not enough data to do that. The trend of this curve. Let's wait for Victor's team to finish off that diffractometer analysis report. Then we should be able to calculate the safe areas in real time. This place freaks me out. It's like 1 minute it's deadly quiet, the next there's some terrifying originium mountain pushing its way up out of the dirt. The safe areas keep changing. Although we've managed to reestablish short-range comms after working our asses off, if you go even a step out of range, all that interference will just get in the way again. Good thing I planned ahead and asked Radian for our art scene before we left Londinium. After a little copy and paste, I've made a knockoff version. It's not as good as the real deal, but it should help. Once we've got these portable communications towers up, we'll be able to transmit the locations of the safe areas to anyone on the battlefield who needs them.
This information will save many lives.
Well, yeah, that's what Rhodes Island does.
Horn, status update. We've successfully arrived in Gibsonham. It's the last supply point before we reach the front of the Silver Rock Bluffs. The reconnaissance teams already made their initial scouting report. Looks like there are traces of the ducal armies here. Must have passed through on the way to the front a few days ago. I think we can confirm at this point that the route Trilby Asher provided is safe. Is there anyone in town? The streets are empty, but I can sense the flicker of shadows and the smell of food. We decided against contact to avoid unneeded misunderstandings. Understood. We'll rendezvous with you as soon as we can. It's getting dark. Seems like everything's going smoothly. Best we let our fighters get some rest and some hot soup in them.
Remember to save some for my team. They'll be taking a while longer to get back after work is done. Rock and I still have to head over to Feist. I'm not sure if we'll be able to double our communication range by nightfall, but we'll do our best to finish ASAP.
No need to worry. We'll save the best for your people.
It's all just the same canned provisions though, right? Would you like some engine oil for dressing then? Oi!
All units, continue onwards until you reach Gibsonham. I hope things can be as peaceful tonight as things are now.
I wonder what kind of soup they have. I want soup now.
Instead, I'll just drink my apple juice. Pretending it's soup.
Yummy.
All the houses seem to be empty. Have the residents gone into hiding? Gibsonham's not far from the Duke's defense line, so I doubt the Sark has ever fully captured it, not to mention that the ducal army just passed through a few days ago. Horn's caution is warranted, though. There might be some scattered ducal troops who want to reconvene with the main army and decide to camp out here first. Although Trilby Asher is helping us out in his advance, Victoria's never exactly been a model for unity, not to mention the complicated nature of the exemplars. I dare say that there are a few old-fashioned military nobles who would rather not tolerate our very existence. I see. Then let's show them the full scale of our forces. It'll deter those with ulterior motives and alert anyone who needs our help of our arrival.
The rumbling of traveling tanks reverberates through the quiet night. The low roar of the engines, forceful yet steady. The soldiers cautiously advance, observing their surroundings, but still, all they see are pitch-black windows and doorways.
It doesn't look like they want to make first contact. That's fine, as long as it means we can get along. Wait, I hear something. From the building to the front and left. That's the sound of artillery shell casings falling on the ground. An ambush? On your guard, everyone. I'll lead a team to scout ahead. First squad, second squad, follow my lead.
Uh-ohs. There are no signs of life in the abandoned factory. Contrary to expectation, there is no sound of an explosion following the fallen casings.
Are you sure that was falling casings, Horn? Absolutely sure. There's a special model only allocated to the elite Victorian troops. No traces of anyone living here. Don't move, Siege.
Siege carefully puts her foot down, back to where it was. Horn points at the thin tripwire, barely visible against the ground. Dang, Horn has good eyesight.
Nicely concealed. What with the surrounding piping obstructing the view, real tricky to spot. A booby trap? No, it's not linked to any explosives, just a simple alarm system. Based on how they installed it, I'd say they're military. Should we try to initiate contact? Yes, everyone, get behind us, and prepare to engage.
Hello, we don't mean any harm. Our unit's called the...
A secret passage. Get ready to enter, stay behind my shield. Halt. We're not.
Darkness.
Help!
Ooh, familiar shadow. Bagpipe.
I knocked over some spent ammunition while on watch. How could they have heard them from so far away? They avoid your alarm too. These troops, I don't think they're any ordinary... She can block your pile driver's spear.
Friend, not foe.
Captain? And Siege too? It really is you, Fiona.
The lady with long red hair suddenly throws herself into the arms of her captain.
So yeah, we're alive all along.
Wonderful! How wonderful! Horn gently releases bagpipe from her embrace, then claps a hand on her shoulder.
Good to see you in one piece, and in rather good shape too.
I'll make my report now, Captain. I've done it. I've managed to extract the intelligence on the Spectre Force. And I can what they're planning now. I survived. I got my memories. I got the truth, and I stayed alive. Your orders. I never forgot a word of them.
Good to hear. I knew you could do it. I always knew.
How long did it take for them to have their reunion? Was it like a year or something?
Welcome back, Bagpipe. Wait, you're not...
Everyone, we mean you no harm. It's alright to come out. One by one, silhouettes emerge from the shadows. The elderly, the children, the sick, and the wounded civilians. Hundreds of pairs of eyes stare at Siege and her men in fear and curiosity, taking their measure.
You're not with the ducal armies. Most of you aren't dressed like Victorian soldiers. In fact, you mostly look like workers to me. That's right. We're not under any of the dukes. We're called the Exemplars.
Oh, that was cute. I like that. Now that we've met up with Bagpipe, can we meet up with Granny? Come on, I like Face Grandma. Come on, let's invite her too.
Sheer is counting out the civilians who were hiding in the factory and giving them a checkup. All he can say at the moment is that it's looking better than we expected. Aside from those infected soldiers under the Duke of Fife who came along with you, and a small team of military engineers under the Duke of Normandy, everyone else is just a local civilians who couldn't escape. The Ducal Alliance armies came through here a few days ago, but they'd rather give up the chance at being rescued than seek help from the Grand Dukes. It's understandable why the soldiers would avoid them. They're either worried about the status of their infection, or worried about the court-martial. But as for the civilians, perhaps this was a year that people living around Londinium got to reassess their country and those decorated higher-ups. Bagpipe, how did you manage to get their trust? Are you listening, Bagpipe?
Huh? Oh, aye, Captain.
You need to pay attention during tactical meetings. The map's on the wall, not my face.
Sorry, Captain. Horn lets out a small sigh.
I really shouldn't be asking. You are Fiona after all.
I'm just a wee bit glad. The Exemplars, the Tempest Platoon's predecessors. I guess the rumors are true.
I'm actually amazed that you still remember what you learned in military history class.
Well, of course, when I was still at the training camp, Triangle made sure I committed with this fact to memory. Out by the training field, the sycamores were full of leaves, blocking the sun just right. Then there were the rocks at the top of the hill, hard as, well, rocks. Handles sting if you try to climb them.
I remember when Cello and Oboe had a wager on who could complete the rock climbing training course the fastest. The loser had to do 101 hand push-ups.
Oh, that is a tough competition. Oboe was a great fool. Who would have taken that bet with Cello?
Maybe you should have reminded him back then. You were even sitting on his back the whole time he was doing those push-ups.
Bagpipe, you savage. I was just helping him with his training, and I think it turned out alright in the end. He was just a hair behind Cello the next time.
The Exemplars. When the Tempest Platoon was first established, nothing was left of this legendary unit from the War of the Four Nations, not even its unassigned unit ID. But now it has returned once more to the battlefield. We're all members of the Exemplars now, Bagpipe. As long as our team is still here, we will never stop fighting the good fight.
Patrolling the city.
Isn't there a strategy meeting inside? Why are you standing out here in the cold? Just wanted to clear my head for a few minutes. Did you think I was someone else? Byard, or... No, not really. I believe you. If someone suddenly popped out of the fog tonight, I wouldn't have any expectations either. Not everyone is as lucky as Horn, reuniting with the person they most want to see. Luck, eh? That's a luxury around here. That's enough blues for tonight. We should head inside. Wait. Victorian soldiers? Are they the remnants who stayed behind? No, they can't be. I never noticed them until they got this close. They're the elite of the elites. Caster's men? Who you be?
It's positively frigid out here. My hands are frozen stiff. The days truly are getting colder as they go by. Well, I've only taken a little jaunt, and my full plaids already half soaked though. Oh, it's this guy. I'm surprised he's out here. Hello, Duke of Gottingen. Haven't seen you in a while.
My young friends, won't you invite me inside to warm my hands for a spell? Since you've come all this way in person, I suppose we should show you some courtesy. Delphine.
Yes, Vina?
Let's show the Duke the way.
The way to the back alley and then we smack him. Actually, no, that's mean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean it. And actually, I like that. I like how it ended up happy. I don't want to push my computer too much tonight. I'm small kind of scared. I'm just scared that it's gonna crash again. I gotta see if there's any updates I have to do. Because maybe it crashed earlier, the blue screen of evilness, because of that. But yeah, I feel happy with leaving off on that. That is cute, that is wholesome, until I ruined the moment by saying that we should lead him to the back alley and smack him. I'm sorry, Duke. Maybe I'll deserve it next stream, but right now, maybe not so far. I'm happy for Horn and Bagpipe. That is cute. I like the reunion. Heck. Even on our side, it's kind of cute too. I like Driver. Driver's nice. I hope Driver survives to the end with her buddies. That trio is so cute. I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for their friendship. I want them to drive off into the sunset happily together. Though, oh man, I wonder what's gonna happen next. Hopefully Duke Gottingen don't do anything bad. And I hope our next fight with the Naxxeri is not gonna be too scary. I do want that fancy blade. Gosh darn it. I want that blade so badly. But oh well. And next time, I will use W's third skill. I mean, Wiš'adel's third skill. I will do the thing. So with that being said, thank you everyone for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day in epic gacha luck. I'm gonna go see if I have some updates that I gotta do real quick, so I'm prepared for like next time. So see you guys later. Bye-bye. No more crashing, please. No more pain and suffering, cause gosh darn it, that spooked me way too much. I'm like, come on, not again.